In our previous segment, we discussed about the outputs pertaining to a job or a steps. We have captured the outputs pertaining to a step and pass it over various other steps and the jobs within a workflow. Today we are going to discuss about the actions. If you look at here, the run is basically one of the utility where you can perform all your shell scripts. But when we comes to the DevOps line, we may have to build various applications using it can be a Java based or it can be a Linux based or a Docker based or anything else. We may have to deal with some certain Python modules and all. So it is quite difficult for us to write each and every steps everywhere. Rather than that, we do create a reusable template and keep it somewhere. So as and when it is needed, we will just call that particular action and it will be getting executed here. We will explore all those actions in our upcoming videos and we will design, define and implement. But before that, we should know that whether the action is available in the market. If it is available, we can happily use that. Else, we will go for our own development. Let's consider this example. Our repository name is practice. Inside a practice repository, we have a folder called practice and we have a file called Agile's practice guide. When we execute a GitHub action, we want to check out or we want to clone this repository over there. For that, we can use a action called Actions Checkout version 4. We can straightforward use like this. The method is pretty straightforward. We will use it in this way. You will understand much more in the upcoming session. For that, now I'm going to say print the workspace. Okay, I'm going to mention here just to see what are all the contents inside that. For that, ls minus l, then pwd. Okay, I'll go for this ls minus ltr and we will be committing this change. So updated actions. So the action has been updated. Now we are going to see the change. Let's see how it goes. We'll go to the actions and we'll updated actions. When you look at it, there are certain transactions are going to happen. Run action slash checkout 4. What is happening here is it is trying to clone this repository to the workspace. That is what is happening here, right? Once that part is completed, then we are printing what are all the folders present inside the repository. So we have our workspace practice, and inside the practice this has been cloned. So the folder called practice, inside the practice we have all these 4 files. So this is what has happened with this action. Now assume that you have a code repository here, and in this code repository you have all your programs here, and you need to keep your data somewhere else because this particular repository is being owned by your developers. They are doing continuous development and committing the changes, but you don't want anyone else to reach out to your repository, or you don't want to create a mess. In that case, we will be creating the repository somewhere in other repository. That repository will be mapping it into this particular workflow, and we can copy the content to that repository and commit it back, so that it will act like a 2 independent repositories. For that reason, we can use this actions checkout. So in the next video, we are going to use, or we are going to clone the repository with the help of this checkout. so that we will be very clear that what is to be done, how we need to uh, deal with the data repository. Thank you for now.